Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Crocheters Creed. I know it has been a really long time, but I am back with a redo of my tutorial for Shock from The Nightmare Before Christmas. That video got a lot of comments saying that they didn't know how to follow my pattern. It was just poor tutorial skills and poor explanation and visual and everything. So I'm back to redo it. So I'll get into the materials needed for this project. The first thing that you will need, starting with the yarn, sorry about that, is purple yarn, dark purple yarn. You will also need lavender yarn, black yarn, and white yarn. Let me set these back over here. And you will also need, with your hooks, you will need a 4.0 millimeter hook. You will need a 3.75 millimeter hook, and you will also need a 3 millimeter hook. You will also need scissors. I can't find mine, so these are my kitchen scissors. You will need scissors, a yarn needle. Mine is kind of bent. A glue gun is also optional. If I can find mine, I'll use my glue gun in certain parts of this. And of course, you will also need stuff. Okay, now we're going to start with, I start from the bottom up with a lot of my tutorials. So I'm going to start with my purple yarn and my 3.75 millimeter hook. So got my yarn, 3.75 millimeter hook, and I'm going to make a magic circle. Trying to look through the camera. I'm going to make a magic circle. And I'm going to put 8 single crochet into that magic circle. Okay, I've got my 8 single crochet. I'm going to pull my thing. And I'm not going to do a slip stitch. I'm just going to add into my row. So this is a starter row, but I'm going to go into the next stitch right here. I'm going to go into the next stitch. I'm going to add my stitch marker that I cannot seem to find. I think I'll just use white. I'm going to add my stitch marker into the next stitch, and if I can get it, why is it's always the first? Okay, I hate doing this. I'm trying to add my stitch marker. Pull that through, that, hold the end, and I go back through. Now I'm in that next stitch that I just did. I just went into the next stitch with the stitch marker, and then I'm going to pull up and do a single crochet. Okay, sorry about that, I got a phone call. Okay, so I did a single crochet into that next stitch, and I just added my stitch marker, and I'm just going to do a single crochet in every stitch around until I reach my stitch marker. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now I reached my, I hope that was in view. I reached my stitch again, and I'm going to go back into that stitch and do a single crochet, and I'm going to pull that up and add stitch marker to that stitch again. That was a lot easier than the first time. And then I'm just going to continue on to row 2. So we just did row 1. I'm moving on to row 2. And you're really just going to continue to do that until you reach the desired length that you get. Now, I think for me, I did about 9 or 10 rows, but you can do it longer or shorter depending on how you want her to look. So this is row 1. I'm starting on row 2. So I'm going to crochet until row 9. So just one single crochet all the way around. Add in your stitch marker. Continue for row 1 through 9. Just single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, now I'm going to join my legs together. I have one leg, my other leg, I'm going to chain 2. Now, of course, this would be inside. This is just a practice one, so just ignore the tail. But I'm going to chain 2 on the last leg that I made. Crap, my yarn's in the way. Crap. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Okay. So I have my other leg. I'm going to join my other leg here. And I'm going to join it at the spot that I ended on. So I'm going to join into that stitch after my chain 2. If I can get to it, come on. Why is it all, okay, I was about to say, it's a lot of strings here, but I'm going to join, and I'm going, wait, hold on here. I'll try this again. This stitch is really hard to go into. Okay, so I'm going to join into that stitch. And now I am going to slip stitch into that. Now, I'm going to, this is the only time that I'm actually slip stitching, but I'm going to, where's my, I guess I could take this out. I'm going to chain, add my stitch marker first. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to single crochet all the way around the entire, through this leg, through this part, and through the thing, but I'll do it on camera just to make sure. So I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to single crochet around, back around this leg again, and so many stitches. Sorry, I'm not doing it in the camera. Only reason I want to show this part is because when you get to the chain 2 between the legs, it can be kind of hard to tell where you go into, but, and it kind of looks weird, but you'll see it start to form. And crap, I have to get that stitch. It's a weird looking stitch. And I think I've reached my chain 2. Now my chain 2, I'm just going to go into the stitch, that stitch. I'm going to go into it, and single crochet. That's 1, and that is 2, the next stitch, and then I reach back into my other leg. Sorry, I need to be looking through the camera. I'm looking over it, so I hope it's in view. And then I'm going back around to my leg. Now, because you already made those single crochets through the chain 2, when you go back around, it should be easier for you to follow along. But we're not increasing and we're not decreasing yet. we're simply just single crocheting. So this, if you, however many rows that you did, I did 9 for my legs. So this is now, I did 9 for my legs. So this is now row 10, adding the torso, which I need to put in my notes just to make sure. So this is row 10. And I'm making my way slowly back around. Again, like we made the legs and arms, well, how you make the legs and arms is there's no increasing or decreasing. It's just single crochet in every stitch. So this is row 10, where you just single crochet around the entire row of joining the 2 legs. So I'm back here at my join 2 again. So I'm going to go into that next stitch, which is kind of hard to see. Let me see if you guys can see that. Right there, it looks kind of mangled. Ugh. Anyway, if I can get into it. Okay. So that is what is going on. 1 and 2 and 2. Oh crap, I messed that up. What is going on? Why is this not going into this pattern? Okay, now, and there's a 3rd stitch here now. If I can get to it. And then we're back again at the stitch marker. So now this has formed sort of like a bridge in between the legs. And now we're going to continue up the torso. Now again, this depends on how long you want the torso to be. I forgot what part of this pattern I did for the torso, so I am going to crochet ahead just to see where I got my torso, and then I'll come back and tell you guys. But you'll do the torso to a certain point, and then of course the neck starts to go up. So let me go and do my rows and see how many I did, and I'll be back. Okay, I do want to point out that when I do make these test patterns, I make one before I make the actual product. So this is a test run version of what I'm making, but this is the actual version of what it's supposed to look like when you are done. Now with this one, I used a bigger needle for this because I just like the way that it looks. But like I said, it technically really doesn't matter what needle you use. You can decide whether you want the stitch to be bigger or smaller. With the test run version, of course, this is a smaller one. Some people like theirs bigger, some people like theirs smaller. But for this one, I used a 4.0 millimeter hook for this one. I just forgot the pattern and forgot that I was using the wrong needle. But we're too far in, so we're just going to keep going. But this is a 4 millimeter hook. It really doesn't matter about the hook. We're using a 3.7 in the test one, but I used a 4.0 for the actual one. But it's no worry. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, to me. Make it however you want. It's not going to change the project, other than really the look of it. It'll just be smaller, but they still look cute. So anyway, moving on. I have done my rows. Now for my rows, we started on row 10, because I did rows 1 through 9 with the legs, and then the torso was row 10. So from row 10 to 15, for me, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, Yeah, 10 through 15, I did 1 single crochet in every stitch around. I'm not not decreasing. I'm not slip stitching into anything. I'm just going around and adding my stitch marker. So I'm back to my stitch marker here, but from rows 10 through 15, I did 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So you can pause so that you can do that. But now I'm going to be getting into my decreasing to actually get to the top of the torso. So really what I did is, what is this? Why does it look like this? What in the world? What happened there? Anyway, so I got to my slip stitch. So what I'm going to do is, I just have to redo that stitch again. I don't know why that looked weird to me. Anyway, I'm going to go into that next stitch, and I'm going to pull up and do a single crochet. Add back in my stitch marker. And now in row, Laura the dog, in row 16, I'm going to do, oh, come on. I'm going to do a decrease in the beginning and the end of the row. So I'm going to write this down. This is row 16, and you will be doing a decrease in the beginning and the end of row 16. Okay, so I've reached the end. So I did my decrease in the beginning. I single crocheted around after the decrease, and I'm almost at the end. So a decrease takes up 2 stitches, of course, so I'm going to go into my next stitch, go back into my next stitch, and pull through, and that's my decrease. Now I'm back to the stitch marker. This is row 16. Now we're moving on to row 17. I'm going to add my stitch marker in, and for row 17 we're just going to single crochet around the entire row. So this is row 17, just single crochet all the way back around, and I will meet you back for row 18. Okay, I'm done with row 17. I've gotten back to my stitch marker, and I'm going to go back in and add my stitch marker to the next stitch. And for row 18, come on, for row 8, come on now. Crap. I hate when yarn does this. For row 18, I'm gonna add my stitch marker. And for row 18, I'm going to do 2 decreases in the beginning and end of the row. So because this is a short row, I'm just going to show you it. So I'm going to go in. Ooh, that was not good. Go into the next stitch. Go into the next stitch. That's my decrease. I need to get more yarn. Next stitch. And then I'm going to go into my next increase. And then I'm going to single crochet in between. I'll have to pull that closed. Anyway, ignore that. Just single crocheting around. But I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I am still getting everything in order for my projects, so it's a lot to do. I recently got married and moved into our own house, so it's a lot going on, which is why this video took a while to get out, because it's a lot going on, but it's exciting. So, oop, wait, I messed up. There I am talking. So I'm back at the end and I'm going to do my 2 decreases. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. As you can see, it's starting to slightly form a close. So I'm going to go back in to that stitch with the stitch marker, and I'm going to pull it through, and that was row 18. See if I can get it. Whoops, I already started, but row 19, you are just going to single crochet all the way around for row 19. Alright, and lastly for row 20, you are just going to decrease in every stitch around. So just do decreases in every stitch around. If you find that you can no longer do an increase in the stitches, just do a single crochet in the last stitch if you can't find another stitch to do a decrease in. And after that, we are going to move on to the arms, which are literally made the same exact way that you do the legs. I'm sorry for the noise. Same exact way that the legs are made. And again, if you want to make the legs or arms longer or shorter, anything in this pattern, if you want to make it add on or do less, it's all up to you. But the arms are made the exact same way that the legs are made. And you can make them longer or shorter. So I'm not going to show the legs. I'm not going to show how the arms are made because it's literally the exact same way. Magic circle, 8 single crochet into it, and do 9 rows or 10, however many you want. And that's really it. You make 2 and we move on. I don't know why I thought I had to explain that. Anyway, so this is the torso now, but like I told you guys, and of course it'll look a little bit bigger because it's stuffed. I haven't stuffed it, but this is my torso for the original product. And so we're done with that. So after you do your legs, your torso, we're moving on to the arms, and now I'm going to show you how to make the covering for her arms. With my Amiga rubies, everything is done separately and sort of added together. So because of her coat that she wears, we'll be moving on to Lavender Yarn, and I'm going to show you how to... Okay, now moving on to the her sleeves for her jacket. I'm going to be using my Lavender Yarn and the same hook, 3.75mm hook. Oh, my thing's dying. I have to hurry. Okay, so with the arms, really you just have to measure your arms. So this is the original thing. I've already made it. And I have my arm here, which is not stuffed. That's why it doesn't look as big. But I have my arm here. So really what you want to do is single crochet a chain around your arm. So I'll show you. I'm going to take my hook again, 3.75mm hook, and you're going to make a slip stitch, a slip knot, sorry, slip stitch, slip knot. I'm all over the place. Anyway, you're going to do that, and you're basically going to measure your arm. So let's see, I'm going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to take this out just so I can do it. Now, you want some of the arm to hang out a little bit, so don't cover it up too much. And the 12 actually fit perfectly. So all you're going to do after that, I'm going to slide that back in. So you're going, after you get your desired chain, you're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch, and you're going to, that's the first slip, that's the last slip stitch that you do in this. And like the arm, you're just going to single crochet around the chain until you get your desired length. So, sorry about that, my camera cut off. But anyway, basically what you're going to do is, I made 9 rows on my arms like I did my legs. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows on my sleeve, just so that this could stick out a little bit more. Do I have that backwards? Yeah, I do. So you just want it to stick out a little bit, but I made 9 rows for this, and all you're going to do is just single crochet around until you get your length, and you're done. Okay, now I've got my torso and I've got my arms. Torso, arms, and legs. So I'm going to move on to her actual dress. So for the dress, I'm going to use my 3.75mm hook and my lavender yarn. Crap, I got a lot of stuff in the way. And I'm going to chain, how do I put this? I'm starting from the bottom up of the dress. So this, again, really is for you to decide what you want to do. Because her dress flares out, you don't want it to be the, you don't want it to be too close to the legs. You want it to flare. So for my pattern, I chained 35 just to make it flare some. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me chain my chain. Let me chain my chain. Let me single crochet my chain. And then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I chained my 35. And I'm going to set her up like this so you can see. So it's attached like that. So that's how far it would flare. It's not that tight, but when you start to single crochet, it will start to flare even more because you're adding stitches. So this is I chained 35. You can chain more or less, whatever you want to fit your amigurumi. So that's how much I chained for mine. So I'm going to slip stitch into, focus now. I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch that I made. And come on, why is it doing this? I'm going to slip stitch, and now we're starting on row 1. So I'm going, this is the last slip stitch in the row, or in the pattern of the dress. So now for row 1, I'm just going to single crochet around the entire row. Oh, okay. I jumped ahead a little bit because I lost my pattern halfway through, so now I'm kind of eyeballing it. But this is starting at the bottom of the dress. We stopped on row 1. So row 1 through 4, you're just going to single crochet in every stitch around. Like the arms, the legs, and the torso, when you get back around, you're just going to be adding in your stitch marker. The last slip stitch that we did was at the very beginning. There's no more slip stitches after that. So you can pause row 1 through 4 with the dress. we're going to continue. But now, after you do that, for row 5, let me write this down again. For row 5, you are going to do 2 decreases in the beginning and the end of the row. Oh, is it focused? What is happening? Oh! What? Come on. Okay, sorry about that. So, I've jumped ahead again just to make sure I'm following the right pattern. But, now, after you do row 5 and you decrease in the beginning and the end, you single crochet around, you're going to, for rows 6 through 8, you are just going to single crochet all the way around, and as you can see, it's starting to form. I'm going to show you how it's meant to look. Is sort of like that. You want her legs sticking out a little bit, and as you put it to the body, you'll see it starting to form slowly up the torso. We will do, come on. We will do one row of purple at the very end after we're done with the dress. We'll do one at the very bottom and at the top to sort of complete her dress, but you don't have to worry about that right now. So after that, for row 6 through 8, single crochet around, and I will be back to show you row 9. Alright, now for row 9, all you're going to do is you are going to focus. You are going to do 2 decreases at the beginning and end of the row and single crochet in between for row 9. Okay, so now for rows 10 through 13, you are simply going to single crochet around. And as you can see, it's starting to form, and we're almost at the top. So while you're doing this, I want you to hold it next to your amigurumi, and you decide how long or big you want your skirt to be. So for rows 10 through 13, you're going to single crochet around and just pause and come back. And for row 14, you are going to chain 1 and you are going to do a decreased 1. Okay, so moving on to row 15, you are just going to single crochet all the way around for row 15. And then for row 16, you are going, row 15, you single crochet all the way around for row 15. And for row 16, you're going to yarn off with the lavender yarn. If I can find my scissors. You're going to yarn off. Well, just cut off your lavender yarn. And you're going to add on your dark purple yarn. And this is just her collar of it. So I'm adding on to the purple, and I am just going for row 16. Once you add your purple yarn, you are just going to decrease in every stitch around. So, and if you find that you can no longer do a decrease, if you don't have enough stitches, just do a single crochet if you don't have a second stitch to put your last decrease in. So I'm going to finish my decreases, and then I will come back and show you how to finish the bottom of the dress, and then we will move on to her head, the head part, the hat, the eyes, the nose, etc. So I will be back. Okay, so this is the top. Focus, please. This is the top, and I'm going to start on the bottom, which is just single crocheting all the way around, but in purple. Yes, I could have started it like that, but I don't know, I just wanted to do it this way. So all you're going to do This doesn't count as a row, I guess, just to add on. And I am just going to add on to purple. You can add it on anywhere really you want to. I'm just going to add it on, let me turn it, I'm just going to add it on this way, and you're just going to single, if I can, I'm going to single crochet in that, and I'm just going to single crochet all the way around. So your dress will have one more row added onto it, which isn't that big of a deal. All you have to do is just hike up the skirt a little bit more. It just depends on how long you want the skirt. But this will add on a little bit more to the dress. And just single crochet around, and once you are done, I will show you how to make the head and the hat. So single crochet all the way around, and I will be back to show you how to do the head. Okay, now we're moving on to the head. Now her head will be made with white yarn. So we're going to start out with our white yarn and your 3.75 millimeter hook. And let me move my scissors. For the head, we are going to start with a magic circle. Focus for me, please. Thank you. Okay. We're going to start with the magic circle. Oop, is that right? Sorry, my neighbors are outside. If you hear background noise. So for the magic circle, we're going to do that, and we're going to put 12 single crochet into that magic circle. So I'm going to go 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so once we're done with that, we're just going to pull our string. Again, like I said, I don't have any stitch markers, so I'm just going to use a piece of black yarn. And with this pattern, or with this part of the project, I am also not going to be doing any decreases after the one in the starting row. Meaning, I could focus for me, please. Meaning, I'm going to single crochet, not single crochet, I'm going to slip stitch until that stitch, that top stitch, and this is the last slip stitch that I will do for this part of the row. So I'm gonna, oh wait, I did that the wrong way too. Did it with the end. So I'm gonna slip stitch, and that's perfect because I can add in my stitch marker. Can we focus, please? Okay. And then I'm going to go over and pull that through as a slip stitch. And now we are going to, we're not going to chain one. Well, yeah, we are actually going to chain one, and this is our last slip stitch. And what we're going to do is for row 1, we are going to do an increase in the first stitch. So single crochet once, single crochet again, and then you are going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then after that, you're going to do an increase in the next stitch, and then you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, until you get back to the beginning. Okay, now it would focus. Maybe I have to do it back here. I'm done with row 1. I've finished my increases. I ended on a increase. So now I'm just going to go into the next stitch where my stitch marker is, and pull that up and add my stitch marker, if I can, please. And then for rows 2 through 4, you are going to just do, and when I put my stitch marker, I'm just doing a single crochet into that stitch. Now I have my stitch marker again. And for rows 2 through 4, you are just going to do a single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, so I am finished with my rows 2 through 4. If it will focus, please help us. Is that a glare? Is that why it's doing that? Anyway, this is rows 2 through 4. And I'm going to start to turn mine inside out so that, why is it having such a hard time focusing? Anyway, I'm going to turn it inside out so that you can actually see how it's actually going to look. But this is rows 2 through 4. And for row 5, you are going to go into the next stitch. You are going to go into that stitch. Oh, I didn't pull it up. Okay, that's my fault. Hold on. I didn't put my stitch marker back in. So with the stitch marker, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a single crochet where my stitch marker is. I'm going to do one single crochet, and I'm going to do, so that's the stitch marker. In the next stitch, I'm going to do an increase. And then I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to do an increase in the beginning and the end of this row, and I'm going to single crochet in between. So that was my first increase. I'm going to single crochet back around until I get to the stitch marker, and I'm going to do my last increase, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have done my row, that was row 5, and for rows 6 through 9, I'm pretty sure that is. For rows 6 through 9, you are just going to do a single crochet in every stitch around for rows 6 through 9. Okay, now again, because half of my pattern that I wrote is lost, I know I said row 6 through 9, you're going to do a single crochet in every stitch. It is actually 6 through 14. So 6 through 9, 6 to 14, just continue. So now you're probably at row 9 for the head. So just do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 more rows, and then you'll be done with the actual head. I'm sorry about that. That also will be in the description of the video, the written pattern. Sorry about the dog barking. But when you're done, it should... Now starting on the nose, you are going to take your 3mm hook and your white yarn. Here, let me move this out the way a little bit. Focus. You're going to take your 3mm hook, and you are going to chain 8. Oh, crap. Make a slip knot, and you're going to chain 8. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to single crochet back down that chain. So, oh, wrong stitch. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now once that's done, I always count that as the starter row before I actually do my rows. So for rows 1 through 4, you are just going to single crochet across, single crochet in every stitch around. And what it's going to do is it's going to form, you're going to pinch it like that and hook it onto your nose. So once you have the 4 rows, all you're going to do is close it like that and sew it directly on to your nose. So I'm going to make this one, and when I assemble the, it is really bright, that was kind of creepy. When I assemble the, her face, I'll show you how to sew it in properly. But that's how you make her nose. So now we are going to move on to her hat. And we're halfway done. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the hat. The hat is made also in 2 parts. So we're going to go back and we're going to get our lavender yarn. Hopefully it doesn't fall. We're going to take our lavender yarn, and for the hat, we're starting at the base of the hat, and I'm going to take my 3mm hook again, and we are going to make a magic circle. Magic circle. And then we are going to put 12 single crochet into the magic circle. So we're going to do 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, oh, crap, do that again. Is that good? 5, come on, 5, is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lost count, jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Sorry, I had technical difficulties. Okay. So, I'm going to pull this, pull your string. Ow, jeez. Focus, please. To bring it closer, maybe that's why it's not focusing. Okay, so I'm going to pull this. Sorry, I'm trying to look through the camera. And I'm going to do a single crochet, a single crochet into that top stitch like we have been doing. And I'm gonna get, what yarn do I have? I'm gonna get a white stitch marker if I can find my scissors. Do a white stitch marker. And I'll pull that through. And that is, we're going to move on to our first row. So, oh wait, I didn't mean to slip stitch. That was supposed to be a single crochet. Do a single crochet. And for magic circle, for row 1, we are going to do an increase in the first stitch. So we're going to do an increase, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around for row 1. Okay, so I finished my row 1. I'm sorry guys, I'm hopefully going to be able to get a camera soon, so I'll just have solely a camera to film with instead of my phone. But now we're going to move on to row 2. So I'm going to go back into that stitch, get my stitch marker, and if you have seen my videos, what I'm basically going to do for the rest of this hat is, now we're on row 2. So for row 2, I'm going to go into that next stitch, and I'm going to do an increase. I'm going to do an increase. Oop, come on. I'm going to do an increase. And then in the next 2 stitches, I'm going to put 1 single crochet. So in the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch, I'm going to do another single crochet. So we have 2 single crochet, 1, 2. So we have an increase, 1 single crochet, another single crochet. So what you're going to do from row 2 to row 5 is you are going to single crochet with the corresponding row that you're in. So meaning we're in row 2, so we did 2 single crochet. So after these 2 single crochets, 1, 2, we're going to do an increase, and then you're going to repeat that all the way around for row 2. Same thing for row 3. In the very beginning, you're going to do an increase, and then in the next 3 stitches, you're going to do 1 single crochet. So if you're on row 5, you should have an increase and 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. That's what I mean. So every row, the row that you're on will tell you the amount of single crochet you will need within that row of how many you're supposed to do. So I'm on row 2. So I'm going to do my increase and move on. And if you are confused, the pattern is always in the description of every one of my videos. So I'm going to finish my rows until row 5, and then I will show you how it should look like this. Now I added the nose, so ignore the nose, we'll get to that. But it should look like this. And the top is open so that the hat can sit down over top of it and just make it look a little bit better. So now because the nose is here, this is the actual product. Okay, I apologize in advance of the dog barking. Now I am to row 5. Now row 5, I have increased 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches, and so on. So I'm on row 5. Now the last thing that needs to happen with this is for row 6 through 8, you are just going to single crochet in every stitch around. And it should turn out to look like something like this. So, for a little reference, the hat will sit like that on the head. That's why I left it open. So it should look something like this. Now we are going, I'm just going to put that together. Now we're going to move on to the, not really sure what part, what this is actually called. So, but the pointy part of the hat, whatever that part is called. So you will also need your purple yarn and your lavender yarn, excuse me. Your lavender yarn and your 3mm hook. So I'm just gonna undo this yarn here. Okay. Now we are going to do, we have a 3mm hook. Now again, we're gonna make a magic circle. Magic circle. And we are going to, we're going to do 12 single crochet into that magic circle. Okay, I've done my single crochet, and now I'm going to go into that top stitch, if I can. Where is my white piece of yarn? I'm going to go into that top stitch and slide my stitch marker in, and I'm going to just do a single crochet again. Oh, and I don't know if I said this before, but to end like the hat part, to end this, after you get to the last single crochet, just go into the stitch and slip stitch, chain 1, and then that's it. Just so it won't look like a half circle. So this is my single crochet. So for row 1, we are simply going to go into the next stitch. I feel like that's not tight enough. I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to do an increase. I'm going to do an increase, and in the next stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. And after that, I'm going to do an increase, and I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around for row 1. Okay, now I have finished row 1. I'm going to go into that next stitch with my slip stitch marker. Going to add my stitch marker, and we're moving on to row 2. So for row 2, we are going to do an increase in the next stitch, and then we are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 in that stitch, the next stitch 2, and we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around for row 2 with an increase, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and so on until you get back to the stitch marker. Okay, I have finished my row 2, and for rows 3 through 5, you're just going to single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, I am done. I have finished row 5. I've turned mine inside out so that you can start to see how it's starting to form. I'm back at row 5. Now for row 6, I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to do a decrease. So for row 6, you're going to do a decrease in the beginning and the end of the row, and I'm just going to single crochet around until I get back to the last 2 stitches, because a decrease takes up 2, and I'm just going to continue on until I get to my last stitch. But for row 6, you are going to do a decrease in the beginning and end of the row, and you are going to single crochet in between. Okay, moving on to row 7, you are simply going to single crochet in every stitch around for row 7. Okay, now for row 8, I have that messed up there, but for row 8, we are going to chain 1, and you are going to do a decrease in the beginning and the end of the row and single crochet in between. So this is my decrease, and I'm just going to start single crocheting. I'm just going to start single crocheting around till I get back to my last 2 stitches. I'm going to do my decrease, and we will move on to row 9. Okay, moving on to row 9, we are just going to single crochet in every stitch around for row 9. So, yep. I'm gonna single crochet all the way around, and yeah, this is pretty much the pattern of it. Just gonna keep going until I get all the way back around, but this is row 9. I'm sorry. Okay, now for row 10, I am going to do a decrease in the beginning and end of the rows for row 10. So I know you've seen a pattern now, but I'm still, oh, did I do that right? Yep. I'm still going to explain it. So for row 10, you do a decrease in the beginning and the end of the row, and you single crochet in between. Okay, that was, I believe, row 10. For row 11, you are just going to single crochet all the way around for row 11. Sorry. Okay, now for row 12, again, you are just going to do a decrease in the beginning and end of the row. A decrease in the beginning and end of the row, and you see it starting to form. Okay, for row 13, we are just going to single crochet in every stitch around for row 13. All right, so for row 14, you are going to do two decreases. Focus, please. We're going to do 2 decreases in the beginning and end of the rows, and we are going to single crochet in between, and we are almost done. Okay, and lastly, for rows 15 through 18, you are just going to single crochet all the way around for rows 15 through 19. Now with this specific part too, you can choose to make less rows. Really the last few rows are just to make it curve at the back and stick back like that. So really that's all it is. If you want to make more rows or less, it's up to you. I made that amount so that I could have a healthy little curve. And now I'm pretty sure we just have the eyes, and then we can start on the assembly. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the eyeballs. And the eyeballs are pretty easy. Let me look at mine just to make sure that I have this right. Now for the eyeballs, I'm going to use a my 3mm hook, and the eyes are really simple. You are going to make a magic circle. You're gonna make a magic circle, and you're going to put 5 single crochet into that magic circle. Okay, now I'm going to go into that top stitch, if I can get into it. I have to do this off screen because it's always really hard to do that. So I got into that top stitch. I am going, what am I doing? I'm going to do a single crochet, and I need a stitch marker. Crap. Okay. I found my stitch marker. Oh, crap. I'm doing this wrong. I didn't do a single crochet, I did a slip stitch. So basically you're gonna slip stitch. I know this is taking long. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time today getting these slip stitches. I mean my stitch marker into the thing. And I'm gonna single crochet. Now we are going to do an increase in the next stitch. If I can get into the stitch. I'm gonna do an increase. And then in the next stitch, you are going to do a slip stitch. And that is your eyeball. Oh, shoot, hold on. Okay. So, with the eye, after you're done with your eye, if it will focus for me, please. Okay, after you're done with your eye, you can either lay a black strip across this to make a slit, which is a pupil, or you can just sew in the black piece of yarn. You can, you can just yarn off and snip your yarn, and to add in the piece of black, you just go through with your needle, with a needle go through. Okay, so all I did was add my dress on to my torso. If you're, sorry about the cars, if you're doing this for like a toddler or a child, I would recommend sewing in the dress into the torso. I'm sorry about that. Sewing in the dress into the torso to make it fit, then I would make that easier so that they can't just pull the dress off. But since this is really just for my tutorial, I'm just going to leave it, I'm not going to sew it into the dress. So I'm going to sew in my end, and I'm going to come back and add my arms. I cannot seem to find my crochet needle, and I might have to rough it and just use a yarn needle because I cannot find my needle. So just start adding on your arms, and hopefully I can actually find my needle too. Okay, so I cannot find my yarn needle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough it basically, and I am just going to try to glue everything on. Doesn't make it any better that I don't have that much glue in my glue gun. So hopefully I can completely get this tutorial completely finished. And I won't have to order a new needle or whatever because I can't find it. So I'm waiting for my hot glue to, my hot glue gun to, heat up. But, I'll start sewing on your arms. I'll have to glue on mine, but I'm gonna do my arms first, which really isn't that, I don't think I would use that much glue for. And then I will show you how to do the head. Now for the head, again, and I need to go get my stuffing, the head is left open. So the nose that you made, the nose piece that you made, all you're going to do is fold it in half and pinch it and sew it in. This was pre-sewn. That's the only reason why it's on here. But you're going to fold that nose in half and just sew it into the top of your nose, but you're going to leave the bottom part open. I don't know if you can see that. You're going to leave the bottom part open. And it is a square, so you will have to pull it down slightly to sort of show that sort of witch nose sort of thing. But that's really all you do. But my head is left open, so while my hot glue gun is heating up, I'm going to stuff my head, and then I'm going to sit it on top of, I'm going to glue it because I don't have a thing, but I'm going to glue it on top of here, and then I'm going to sit my hat on top. I'll show you as it goes along. I'm just waiting for it to heat up enough for my thing. So just put your dress on her, add the arms. I'm going to have to glue mine, and then I'm going to come back to show you how to assemble the head. Okay, please be careful because I just burned the mess out of my hand. But anyway, I feel like it will look better with it actually being sewn on, but I mean, it looks fine. It's not, has to be perfect, but that's my arm. That's my first arm. I'm going to, I guess, just tuck in my strings, and then I will just show you my glued in arm, and then I will go on to show you the head. Okay, I'm going to show you before my thing gets too hot, but I'm going to just add my glue in. I'm trying not to do too much. And then, oh, that's dangerous. Okay. And then I'm just going to add it on like that. Hopefully it sticks. I'm trying to push it down so it won't look like that. But that's the body. So I have to unplug my glue gun so that it won't get too hot. And I'm going to show you how I do the head. I'm trying to move quickly because obviously I know you can see I don't have that much glue left. But, oh. So this is my head with the nose attached. And I'm going to stuff my head. Actually, you know what? I think I should add my eyes. Well, no, I'm going to stuff the head first because I feel like when you stuff something and then you add on parts of the face, it looks more bulged than it would if you hadn't. So that's my face. So it's such a glare. This is my face that I just stuffed. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my eyes, which I'm also going to have to glue, that I have these long pieces to. And that's what I meant by the slit. All it is just a tiny slit that you can either glue in or sew in. But that's all I did. It's just a tiny little slit that I did. And I'm just going to have to, I guess, glue these on as well. So I'm going to make a tiny little snip of that. A tiny little snip of this. I'm just going to try to tuck this behind there. But the eyes, again, would go somewhere like that. Now, truly, honestly, excuse me, honestly, I want to add the eyes on last because the eyes are probably the most questionable part of this project because I don't know if I like the way these look. So I'm going to add the eyes on last just in case so I can see how I like the way it looks. But okay, I have to be quick. I don't know if everything is happening the way that looks. I don't know why it is. But anyway, basically, long story short, I don't have a lot of glue and I don't have a lot of time and a lot of storage on my phone. So, with that being said, I'm going to add the eyes on last because I don't know if I like them. So, this is my head stuffed. I pulled down the nose. So, I'm going to take the base of the hat and I am just going to sit it on her head and glue it down like that. Now, I'm probably going to leave it curled up like that, but I'm just going to glue this to this in the middle, and I'm going to come back to show you how to glue on the top part, which is pretty easy. But if you're sewing, I would recommend leaving a yarn, white yarn on to sew it in like this, but I'm just going to glue this part to this, and the top of the hat here, and the last thing will be the eye, so I'll be right back. Okay, now as you can see, um, now I've joined my head onto my body. It's drying, and I joined, ignore that, I had to do that. I'm about to cut those off, but anyway, I joined my head, my hat, my base. All you do is put the top part into literally the middle of the big circle. And now all I have to do is the eyes. I'm not certain that I like how these look. So if you want to use the eyes, you can. I'm just trying to see if I like them. Because if I don't, I might just... If I don't, I'll probably just glue on some slits for eyes. So I will show you the final product. The mouth is literally going to be this is where you will need a glue gun, and you will just need for those of you who don't have a glue gun, you could just sew this into your mouth as you're assembling your head. But the mouth, I don't know if I can show you this here, will just be a glued frown like that. But I'll show you that in a little bit. I'm still trying to decide whether I want the eyes or not. So give me a few minutes. Is it recording? Okay. So I didn't wind up using the eyes because I felt like it looked really, really weird. And now I feel like she looks like she just has a beard. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in this. Maybe the frown should be smaller. I don't know. But either way, I'm not too thrilled with it. So if you want to use the eyes, you can. But the mouth literally is just a strip of yarn. Okay, last thing that I want to tell you before my thing goes dead is that I also wanted to add hair to this. So I'm going to show you how to add on the hair. You can add as much or as little as you want. But again, ignore this. Sorry about that. Anyway, again, ignore these here. But I'm going to show you how to add on some hair. I'll add it on right here. All you're going to do is take some black yarn and snip it however long you really want it to. I'm not going to snip mine that long. And I'll do it on this side because I know that this is kind of actually throwing me off. But I'm going to get a piece of the yarn And I'm going to go in, I hope you can see this, let me pull her forward more. I'm going to go into a stitch with my needle, and then I'm going to take my black piece of yarn, my hair, and I'm going to pull it, I'm going to try to pull it through. Ah, come on. Crap. Is it gonna do it? Oh my gosh. Try this one more time. Okay, and then you pull it through, and then I'm just gonna tie it like that and pull it as close to it as possible and just snip your end, and the hair will dangle down. So I'm gonna do my hair. Okay, this is the final product. You'll probably see it better, of course, as the thumbnail, but I thank you for visiting my channel, and I will see you soon.